Hello guys, welcome to this webinar. We'll wait for another 1 minute and then we'll start. Yeah, people are still joining in. So hey, my name is Piyush and I have my colleague with me, Sarelya. We both work with the customer teams of Deskera and with a lot of Indian businesses. We'll just start today's webinar after, let's say, 1 minute, exactly in 1 minute. Let's wait for another few participants who are joining in. Just want to make sure that all of you can hear me fine and can see my screen as well. Just comment in the chat box right now. I'll try to fix it if there's an issue with this. Awesome.
Hi everyone. Great to see you here. More people are joining in, Piyush?
Yeah. More people are joining in. We'll just start in a few seconds. Great. There's so many people joining now. Hi Ajay, hi Achal, hi Chandrasekhar, hi Chita, hey Bosley. There's so many people coming in. All right. So, Sarila, I think we should start now.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So, hey guys, welcome to the webinar. 11 quick and easy business automation. So you must be wondering, what is it all about? So actually, me and Sarila have been working from last few years with a lot of Indian businesses, and we've gathered a lot of insights. And with the medium of these webinars, in the next few months, we want to share all those insights with you guys so that you could run your business better. So without further ado, let's start. More people coming in. Let me just ask them to join. Okay. All right. Cool. So okay. So do you know, like 45% of the current paid activities right now could be automated with today's available technology? That is equivalent to almost $2 trillion in total annual wages. That's a report by McKinsey. But maybe a subset of that could be automated right now for your business. Not 45%, but at least you could start somewhere. So I hope that this webinar would help you kick off your journey towards automation. So today we'll be covering different business functions that involves accounting, HR, inventory, also sales and marketing. So we'll continue with accounting, but before that, just to go over some of the benefits that automation provides you. So of course, it avoids the labor cost involved with the manual work that you're doing. Obviously, with humans, you also have errors when they are trying to enter data. There might be a possibility that there are errors. So with automation, you can remove that. There is data transparency because with automation, you could flow that data between different departments, but otherwise, which you have to ask on emails and sending messages to other departments that, okay, I need this data. Just a second to I'll admit more people. Yeah. So talking about data readiness. So when you are using automation, the data is quite structured when you place it inside your database. But when a particular person is typing in the data, the styles could be different, the formats could be different. So you still have to work with the data to make sense of it and take any decisions or give any insights to it. So apart from that, there's obviously higher productivity because people will be more involved in strategic and creative tasks that involves more revenue generation than just the admin work. You could minimize a lot of delays happening due to human errors. So that is there. So yeah, so let's move on. So these are the benefits, but still, like, each automation provides you with some unique benefits also. So we'll discuss that while discussing the automations, all those 11 automations. So are you ready? So just I wanted to make sure that what kind of people do we have in this webinar today? So in the chat, if you could just write, like, are you using any sort of automation in your business right now? And if you are, just write down what kind of automation that you are doing right now.
Well, that will be very interesting to check. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And we have Alicia from our team in the chat box. So if you have any question at any point of time while we are having this webinar, you can just drop in your questions there and she'll be able to answer that. Okay, I'm guessing there are no automations happening in the businesses right now.
This will be interesting then.
Okay, so all right, so this would be an interesting webinar for you guys then. All right, okay, so let's move on. So with accounting, let's discuss five basic processes that happen, which is, well, the first one is invoicing. Obviously, you do it on a day-to-day basis while doing your business. Payments happen every day. Then you do have to reconcile your bank transactions with your accounting guy. If you're working with an accountant, then you have to give it to them. And then obviously we'll talk about document scanning and approval workflows, which are also very basic to any business, because there are expenses in every business, and approvals are also there in any business. So let's move on with invoicing first. Let's go about invoicing. So Sarelya, what do you think about invoicing? How are the current businesses are doing invoicing, and can you just throw some light on it?
Okay, so hi everyone, and thank you, Piyush. So I wanted to say this first, that usually we don't really realize that the day-to-day process that we are doing right now, we are so used to them that we don't know that there is a much better way to do it and a much faster way to do it. And this webinar would be something that will introduce you to something like that. And coming back to invoicing, so yeah, what does a general invoicing process look like? You have Excel sheets where you have your purchases, or the customers that are purchasing from you, okay, where you're managing your transactions. Now you create an invoice manually and you send it to your customer, so that he gets the invoice of the amount of goods or services that he's purchased. You calculate the GST manually, and then, since most businesses in India usually work on credit, and also in the MSME sector, I hope you agree with that, Piyush.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah, so you have to have those credits all jotted down in your sheets or wherever you are doing that, and then you have to remind yourself to send invoices again and again to your customers. Then again, you have to send GST details to your accountant. So it's like a very admin based process. It's a very time-taking process, and then there could be a lot of errors. There could be a lot of things that could go wrong. You could have calculated the wrong GST. You could have put in the wrong invoice details. Then there'll be a lot of to and fro. So it becomes a very hectic process at the end.
That reminds me of one of the issues that one of the businesses had. Like, they had a project of 2 years, and that person has to send same invoice every month, but he has to remind himself that, okay, I need to send that invoice every month. And then sometimes it used to happen on 1st of that month, sometimes it used to happen 5th of the month. But until that invoice is not getting sent to that customer, that customer is not paying, right? So that delays your payments, and the cash flow hits, and how important is cash flow for your business, right? So invoicing is a very important process. So instead of many businesses don't realize that what an good invoicing system can do for them, right? So adopting one would be really helpful. Why? So with an invoicing system, you could pre-configure your GST for whatever products and services that you are selling, right? And like whatever products you are selling, there are HSN codes which are already built in the accounting system. So whenever you are trying to make your invoice, those GST that GST taxes are automatically calculated and included in your invoices. Apart from that, if you're have a service business, your GST, you could easily mention before itself that it's 18%, 12%, 5%, whatever it is. So you can mention it well ahead of time, and then whenever you're creating your invoice, it is automatically populated in your all your invoices. Then what you could do is, like for your regular customers whom you're sending invoices every month, you could automatically schedule that. Like, okay, on first of every month, your invoices will be sent, right? Every month. So and then you don't have to care about it. Like, okay, whether my invoices are going on the right time, whether the that customer is receiving them. And again, you don't have to send all the details related to your GST filing to your accountant. If you could just give the access to your accountant about your invoicing system, the system that you're using, the accounting system or the invoicing system that you're using, just give access to your accountant, and he'll get all the alerts and all the information he needs for filing your GST. So all your work that you do manually to calculate your GST monthly and then sending it to your accountant, all that could be automated with just one good system in place for your business. So yeah, so that's how it's very important, invoicing. So let's move on to the second part of this puzzle.
And
okay, yeah, Sarila, you want to add something?
I just wanted to add to that. I think I was just having this conversation with one of my colleagues earlier, and he was telling me that e-invoicing is becoming a huge thing in India right now. Like businesses with a revenue of 20 crore and plus have been mandated to send e-invoices. So anyway, if you're
exactly. So if you are taking a accounting system which has all the India compliance in place, so the e-invoicing also, what you have to do is you have to get that IRP details and go to that IRP portal, and you create that e-invoice separately. But many of the accounting systems nowadays have a feature where you could directly generate these e-invoices right from the system. When you create a invoice, normal regular invoice, you have a button which says that, okay, generate e-invoice, which will get you all the barcodes and all those details related to e-invoicing, so that you could be always compliant with your business is always compliant with GST. So yeah, e-invoicing is another good point, Sarila, that could be automated with this. So yeah, moving on. So once you have sent the invoice, the next part of the puzzle is, okay, payments. How does they happen currently? So for most of the businesses right now, what happens is you send the invoice, and then you remind that person on WhatsApp or let's say on email that, okay, I have sent the invoice, or you attach the invoice with the email that, okay, these are my payment details. You can send the money here. This is my UPI ID. Send the money here, or you send that on a WhatsApp message as well. And then once that person pays, either he confirms it or you ask for that confirmation, because you need to make sure that your invoice is paid, so that you could update that invoice, update that in the books. So as we were talking about a good invoicing system, so all these accounting systems also come with a feature where with payments. I mean, what happens is, Sarila, would you like to throw some light on it?
Yeah. Okay, so the one major fact that I'm always, troubled by is that we put so much effort to find a customer, and then that payment gets delayed. And that is the worst thing that could happen to, anyone. Like, you put so much effort to get a customer, and then that payment is not happening in time.
Right.
So why don't you create, why don't you just, what do you do when you have to have payments in time? What is your current process? So what we usually do, or what businesses usually do, is they send payment details and reminders, and then ask for confirmation, and then the usual process where you're just following up with your customer. Then what happens is the major issues that could come up would be like, you've sent incorrect payment details, or maybe you've sent him mode of payment which he does not have. Then he'll again come back to you and tell you, okay, I cannot do this, because I don't use this payment mode. Then the payments are getting delayed, your cash flow is getting delayed, and then how do you do business nicely?
Yeah. So I mean, a better way to look at it is today when you are receiving an invoice from anyone, let's say that invoice has a payment link embedded in that particular invoice with a button, which when you click, you go on a screen where all kinds of payment options are given to you, where you could look at all the payment options. Maybe it's net banking, maybe it's debit, credit card, wallets, whatever it is, and then you click on make that payment there, then and there. And then that's it. I mean, that makes the task for the customer also very easy. And for you, I mean, you don't have to go to and fro with all these communication about payments with your customer, right? And let's say the customer is not paying, right? So what do? You send emails again after 2-3 days, then again after 1 week, again after 2 weeks. I mean, that also requires some manual work from you, right? And you have to remind yourself to send those payment reminders, and your payment is getting delayed. You're just sending those reminders just to make sure that you get paid on time. But you can automate this as well. And once you get paid, you have to make sure that your books are updated with that as well. Like, okay, you've received this payment, you make that journal entry, you make that, you make that entry in your accounting system. But you can automate this process also. What you can do is like many accounting systems right now, they give you this option where you could automate these payment reminders that in how many days you need to send. And once that person has sent, once that person has paid the amount, cleared your invoice, you get to know automatically, and your books are updated automatically. Your invoice status is updated automatically. You don't have to do anything in this whole process. So that's how sorted your payments could become if you can save all those hours of manually sending all those details and all of that. Just remove all of that from your current business process. So coming back to the next part, like, okay, you have that person has paid. Now what happens? So we'll talk about bank reconciliation now, the third automation in this thing. Sarelya, you would like to say something about it?
Yes, why not? And so what I think is key bank reconciliation, you always have this dedicated person, who's sitting with you and who will be like a very responsible person for your financial thing, and he'll be checking all your pending payments or upcoming payments in the accounting system that you have, and he will be getting your bank statements, and he will be manually matching them all the time. So all of this is so responsible for one person's job, or anyone, to match payments with bank statements, so that you have received all those payments that you have to have, right? Then what's the issue is that it could lead to a lot of data entry errors. Why? Because it's not like you're receiving one payment or two payments or three payments a month. You're a business, you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of payments, and it could be small numbers, it could be big numbers, it could be parted numbers, it could be a lot of things. So yeah, that's a huge thing for the business, right? You're dealing with payments. Ultimately, it comes down to that.
Correct. And I was talking to a friend who owns a business, and I was just asking, like, how does he manages this process? So he's like, yeah, I don't really care about it. Like, okay, whatever transactions I'm making, they're happening through my bank. So what I do is I export a bank statement, and then whatever the Excel sheet I get, I write comments on each of these transactions, that this transaction was this for this purpose, this transaction was this purpose, and then what I do is I send that to my accountant, and then accountant makes those entries in Tally, that okay, those journal entries that okay, this account, this was for this was. You can save all of that, by just connecting your bank with the accounting system directly. An accounting system which could automatically fetch all the banking transactions that are happening, in the system, and then match your accounting system with bank ones, like whatever deposits or withdrawals that has been happened in the bank, and whatever invoices and bills that you have created in accounting system, they are automatically matched, right? Okay, this was this, this was this, this was this. You don't have to do anything there. Now the next question is, okay, what about the other transactions that are happening? So what you could do is, like few of the accounting systems also provide you automation rules that, okay, if this sort of expense is happening, treat that as this kind of category, like this kind of journal entry. So you could create those automation rules right inside your accounting system, where whatever transactions are that are happening in the bank could be treated as something in your accounting system. So you don't have to deal with all of this manual process after that. You just need to connect your bank, and it once you have automatically reconciled your bank transactions with your accounting, all your financial documents are also updated, whether it's balance sheet, your cash flow statement, your profit and loss statement. Everything gets updated automatically. You don't have to care about that. So you can at any given point of time, you could look at it and see what kind of financial health you have. You don't have to wait for end of the month to import that bank transactions and do that. That will happen in real time every day. Yeah. So these are three important automations. If you employ invoicing, payments, bank reconciliation, that could be a good loop for you, a good automation loop for you, which could save a lot of hours monthly for you, admin work especially, and you can focus on your growth task. So now moving on to another part, document scanning. I could say like expense scanning better, but like, what do you have to say about this, Sal?
This reminds me of my childhood sometimes when I hear document scanning, because I'll be out with my friends, I'll be here and there, and I would have this monthly allowance, where my parents would give me some like $500 or something, and that's all that I have. But I don't ever know where that money goes. I have all the receipts and everything wherever I have eaten stuff or whatever, but I don't know where that money goes.
Yeah.
But this should not be the case for businesses. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you have to do today is collect all these invoices. And handling invoices is very difficult. First, because they come in very different shapes and sizes. And also just keeping a record of all these invoices is difficult. I mean, it is difficult. So what do you have to do then? You have all these invoices, you have to upload all the expense data one by one, check all these invoices. Okay, so this is the serial number, so this is the payment which was done, and then this is what it was done for. It takes a lot of time, and it is very error prone. You can have two matching payments for two very different things, and you might mix and match. And it's not just that, there could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
And yes, that is how it's an issue.
Yeah, expenses could be anything, right? Like whether your sales team is on the field, they are making fuel expense, or your employees are making an expense on behalf of the company, which they would want to later reimburse. So I mean, all these expense data could be, I mean, there should be a automatic process to it. I mean, if you're manually entering each of the expense entry and looking at the receipt, then there is some issue with that, because that will take a lot of time and prone to errors, rightly said by Sarilya. So what is the solution to this? I mean, use an expense app. So most of the accounting systems nowadays come with an expense app also. I mean, an expense module or whatever you call it. It has that document scanner feature, which basically identifies the image, the document that you have, and then automatically fetches all the fields that are there. In this case, let's say your name of the expense, where it happened, date of the expense, and the amount of the expense. All of that is scanned properly, and the new expenses are automatically created in the system. Once it fetches those fields, it creates those expenses. And all your receipts, since you are scanning them, they are also uploading it on the cloud, right? And then you could take whenever you want to access those receipts again, you could easily access them because they are on cloud and you can access it through any device, right? So if you could do that, like, you could save all that entry work that you do for your expenses. Once your business becomes huge, like it's growing, and your expenses also grow, like small this thing, small amounts will grow. So if you keep on entering those small amounts, so imagine a business, with a turnover of 10 lakhs a month, and they are, trying to enter data for, let's say, 10 rupees expense. So how menial it is, like you're spending so much time on that. Instead of that, use a document scanner. That's a good way to automate that.
And I want to add a little to that, Piyush.
Yeah.
So people do not really know right now how document scanning works. They are a little like maybe not aware with the process. So I was amazed with where AI or automations have led us. You should actually, the people who are attending here, you should actually go up and look how document scanning happens. You just need a mobile, you just need a receipt, you just scan it and it automatically gets uploaded. It's amazing. It will amaze you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It did for me at least.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So approval workflows, they are everywhere. Approvals are there in your business, right? Various kinds of approvals. So let's take one process today. Sarelya, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So you have invoices, you have you have vendors, and vendors are as important to you as your customers are. Because what if you don't get supplies? How would you supply? So you get purchase invoices, right? And purchase invoices don't get fulfilled just like that. You have to take approvals. You have to, go up the hierarchy, and you have to ask your manager, maybe whoever the concerned person is, okay, so I have purchased this, I have put this order, please approve it so that it can go ahead. What that does is that your manager, or we are all humans, we might be busy somewhere else, or we might be not present over there, or whatever, and it could get delayed. And your supplier is already ready with everything you need, but you're not able to make that payment on time. It gets delayed. You lose discounts because you might be a regular customer, but once you delay the payment, it creates a bad impression. So yeah, your supplier satisfaction goes down, and also because it is going further in the process, if you have any errors, you are not able to correct it in time. So if again, a lot of to and fro here and there.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to purchase from a lot of vendors and suppliers, right? Whether you are taking their services or taking their products. And the most frustrating part about any business. So, I remember a transaction which happened with one of the businesses was like they got into a 6 month project, and they were a startup only, so they didn't have enough funds on them. So they got this project from a big company, and that company was not like approving their invoices on time, and these people had to hire new resources because they didn't have the cash flow. They were not able to hire new resources and start the project, but they were also forcing the other company, the big company was also forcing that you should start the project right away because we will process your payment. But the thing is, like, to start something, to work on something, you need resources, human resources, right? So they're not able to hire them because they don't have cash flow. They're waiting for the invoice payment to clear and then hire, and all of that would happen, at least the advance payment of that. But that was not happening, and that in the end it was noted that okay, because of the approvals, delay in approvals, all this happened. So I mean, this process should be automated in any organization, especially if the organizations who are looking to scale faster or grow faster, because at some point of time this will break the experience of your supplier. And yeah, so to do this, like what you can do is, like, as soon as a purchase invoice comes in your organization, you have automated. So many accounting systems also have this automation module in that, or you can use any other separate automation app where what you could do is that whenever you are receiving emails from someone, you need to send approval emails, or send them to the right approvers, and once that is approved, you send it to the finance team, and that the same data is also get uploaded to the your books, your accounting system, which gets updated automatically as well. So all of this process could be automated, and because people don't people, when they have something on their plate every day, they're having these alerts that you need to approve, so they are more willing to comply to that process. When you automate this stuff, the delays become smaller. So So this is one of the aspect of approval workflow, and obviously it helps in quicker decision making. That okay, what's there in my plate? Okay, these are the 3 approvals that I need to do. Let me approve them. The decision making is fast. The goods that you wanted from the vendor is coming fast. You are selling them fast. So all this whole loop goes faster.
Your business is smooth.
Yeah, and you have a better relationship with the supplier later on. All right, so I mean, these are 5 automations, top automations that most of the businesses are doing for accounting. Let's move on to the next module, which is inventory, which is also important. This might not be very relevant for the services business, but very relevant for products business, right? So yeah, let's touch 2 automations in this module. So first is the order management automation. Sarila, you want to talk about it? Yeah.
Okay, so order management and are we on the back order slide? Yeah. Or okay, so yeah, back order automation. So all right, you have a new order, all right, and you fulfill it. Business is smooth, all right. But what if you have no stock? How do you know that you don't have any stock? Do you go there and check your inventory every day, or what if the person responsible for checking your inventory is absent? Like, you are a business owner, you don't go to your warehouse and check your inventory every day, right? So this is a huge issue in the inventory sector. If you have your inventory in place, everything is smooth, but how do you know that your stock is getting or is not there, is out of stock? If a particular item in your inventory is not there, how do you maintain it manually? And how do you know it without delays so that you don't lose customers? That is currently what is happening if you do it manually.
Yeah, right. So the major thing with this is because of lack of inventory tracking, you never know that whether your stock is going down or whether you are going out of stock soon. And at that particular time, if the person who is handling all of this is not there, so you would obviously delay ordering, because if you are out of stock and your customer orders, if you accepted that order, then you have to create the new purchase order to your supplier that boss, give me these goods, I need to supply it to my customer. But if this request doesn't go on time to your supplier, then it's a delay. It's a total delay. It hinders your customer experience also, and then he doesn't know. I mean, when he will receive the goods. So yeah, so the better part to do is just automate this thing. So when you are creating those purchase orders for your suppliers, why not automate this process, like with a good inventory system in place? Nowadays, like with your accounting systems, you have integrated inventory also. So whenever you're receiving a new order, so and you don't have a particular stock, then what you could do is you could set this automation in place so that that purchase order is created automatically and it is sent to your supplier automatically. The person doesn't have to be in the office or doesn't need to be there to actually send it or create it, right? So that could be done automatically. And there are few features where you could also set the reorder level. So if you're tracking your inventory right, you could also set that reorder level at some point, that okay, after beyond this point I need to order more stock, otherwise I will not be able to fulfill the demand of my customer. So you could set reorder levels also for your stock level, and then whenever that reorder level touches, automatically you'll get in alerts. Your supplier gets alerts that okay, I need to supply more, and you need to get more stock. So yeah, so this automation is why very important, because this is a common use case that happens. The out of stock situation is like very common with any business which is selling goods, right? So this helps in faster orders fulfillment and better customer experience. So yeah, so this is one of the automations that you could employ in your business too. Now, any business which is selling goods has, like in today's world, if you want to grow your sales, you want to be e-commerce business too. What do you say about it, Sarela?
Yeah, managing an e-commerce business is, if you're doing it manually, you're probably doing it on Excel sheets. And I don't know any other way of doing it manually right now. But yeah, so what you're doing is you're adding your sales, you're adding your payments data, you have everything, there. And it's like, you get orders every day. You have to update that every day. You have to update your payments every day. Now, again, coming back to payments where you might not have received the payment right now, or there are a lot of things happening with the e-commerce sector right now. So all of that on Excel sheets. Then again, you have complex tax compliance now. You have tax laws changing every day. So you have to, set your records, set your books according to that. Then you have an e-commerce business. That means you have a stock. So your stock is not in sync with your Excel sheet, right? Because the stock does not automatically get updated in your sheets. You cannot also update your cash flow situation, because every time you have to do that, you have to go like through multiple spreadsheets and everything to do that. And you don't have a transparent visual of your cash flow, where your money is coming from, where your money is getting spent. So yeah, that is a huge issue right now.
Right. So, I mean, whatever is there in your warehouse right now, like the real inventory, the quantity of that, if it's not aligned with what you have shown in your e-commerce website, that's a problem. That's why your stock is not in sync. That's one problem. Then, obviously, with the GST laws these days, especially with the e-commerce businesses, to stay compliant, you have to make sure that every day you're spending at least 1 or 2 hours just to calculate what were your orders for the day and how much GST was there and everything, and then update that in your accounting system as well. And obviously your sales and payment data should also go in your accounting system. So that's a headache for not just for you, but your accountant also if you're working with him. So a better way to do it is, nowadays, whether you are on Shopify or you are having Amazon or let's say any other Wix or WooCommerce or any other store that you own, you could, sync it with your accounting system. So all the accounting systems, whatever, almost all the accounting system nowadays give you integrations with these sites, these stores, where what you could do is you could sync your products, your sales, your payments data directly into your accounting system. So your accounting system always knows, and there's a two-way integration. So your whatever is there in your warehouse, it is reflected in your accounting system, right? And then that is reflected in your website also. So that's a two-way integration. Your stock is always shown right to the customers, and customers also. Your sales and payments data is automatically imported in your accounting system too. Your all your accounting entries that are required to be made because of the sales that you did on your e-commerce website, they are also recorded there. And since we spoke about bank reconciliation just now, so once those payments are recorded in your bank, they are matched with those in the accounting system, and everything, even your tax liabilities are calculated automatically. So you don't have to really care about anything. Everything is done automatically once the integration is in place. You just focus on selling your products on the website and marketing them. The rest of the backend work happens automatically. Your accountant can have a lookout for your accounting system and see that what is happening. He doesn't have to do anything manually as well. So that could save hundreds of hours for e-commerce accounting. Actually, this is a must automation for any e-commerce business.
Yeah. Actually, I remember I was reading this report, I think from WooCommerce only, and this was about why most e-commerce businesses fail. And their major aspect was data transparency. If they don't have the idea where their money is coming from, how would they be purchasing? You understand that, right? So
yeah. So this is really important automation that you need to do. Like this is the first thing you need to do if you are starting an e-commerce business or already have an e-commerce business right now. That's a recommendation.
Even your drop shipping business.
Yeah, even your drop shipping business. With drop shipping, I mean, this is really important that so with drop shipping, that's what happens, right? You get a order from your customer, and automatically that is rerouted to your supplier, and then supplier sends it to your customer. But all this process, like there is a manual part in it where you have to tell your supplier that ship it like somewhere. This could also be automated. I mean, with this accounting automation. So yeah. So let's move on. So that was about inventory stock. There are more automations in this, but let's just touch the top ones today, and probably in the next webinars we'll touch more. And before I go ahead, I just want to ask you guys like whether this is insightful for you. Like, are you guys liking it? Anything which you didn't understand, we could repeat that. Anything you would like to say, just put that in the chat. We would be able to see that.
Oh, thank you, Ishita.
Thank you, Ishita.
So Ishita says that she's a lawyer practicing in labor and employment laws and uses automation programs in drafting agreements, marketing, etc. Nice. And
Nice.
says that we do automation using Google Sheets and apps. Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing, like connecting your sheets. There are many integration tools right now as well. Zapier, Integromat, and all of that. So you could directly connect. Good. Yeah. All right. So I think let's move on to the next interesting topic. So that involves revenue. So I think you all must be really interested in that. So yeah, let's move on.
Hey.
Sales. Yeah. So let's start with the two most important things, like, right? I mean, you have leads and then you convert them into sales, right? So let's talk about first of all the sales follow-ups that happen, because that requires a lot of time of your sales team or whoever is selling. Even you as a founder or owner must be selling it, but it requires your time. You can better invest it in other decision making processes. So yeah, so and leads nurturing is like you don't want to waste your sales time in leads that are really cold or they are not really interested. So first you have to warm them up a bit to be qualified for your sales. That's what you call sales qualified lead, right? So yeah, so all of this currently many businesses are using manual process for that. Let's discuss that. Let's start with the sales follow-up first. So Sarila, you want to take that up?
Yeah, sure. So what is sales follow-ups? Like, how do we describe this? So you have you're running campaigns, you're running marketing campaigns, there's digital marketing and everything going on for your company. All right. How do you store those leads and how do you manage those leads? Companies usually what they do is wherever they are getting a lead from, they just store it in multiple spreadsheets, naming the spreadsheet with the title of the source, right? Currently, that is what many companies are doing. Yeah, and then you update every action but with every particular lead. Then your sales team refer to that and work on that. So it's a lot of extra work for them. For every lead, they have to go back to that Excel sheet, check what has happened to them, check every column or whatever, however you're defining it. Then also, since there are this is a lot of manual work, your sales team also has to check that what lead do I have to follow up with, right? So they have to go back and then check all those leads. Then it creates a little delay in response, right? There was this statistic, Piyush, that I was talking, I was talking to a friend about, that if you're not replying to a lead within first 5 minutes of them, connecting with you,
yeah,
your chances of losing that lead go way high, right?
exactly.
So that is what delay in response I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
And I hope everyone understands how Excel sheets, how I describe Excel sheets and how it creates a delay in response.
Yeah. I would like to add more on that. Like talking about Excel sheets, I was talking to a business recently, and what they do is like they said like, Piyush, what happens is I get those leads from the lead forms that are there on my website, and I get all those leads, uh, and I tell my sales team to update the status of that lead and take it up. So what happens is like either the lead doesn't know that okay what form he had filled up on the website. Many times it happened like the sales team is calling and they are like, why are you even calling me? I don't even know. So that happens because you're not like responding on time to that.
That is the last point that we were talking about, annoyed or lost lead, basically.
Right. And the sales representatives also get frustrated that why do I have to, keep on filling up these Excel sheets, changing statuses every day about each user. That is the worst part about their job. So they like selling, but they don't like all this Excel sheets and all. So better remove all of this from their lives. So yeah. So how do you do that? Like we talk about CRMs, right? So there are multiple. So there are multiple CRMs in the market. So why not adopt it? Like we always take that as like who needs a system, but system really automates stuff for you, especially the things that involves selling, because sales is your major aspect of your business. If you can automate that, you could sell more. So that's as simple as that, affecting your bottom line, your profits. So capture all your leads in CRM, right? Replicate whatever your business sales process is, your pipeline is, sales pipeline in your CRM. Once you receive those leads in your pipeline, you should have a way to automate. Like in all CRMs, you have this automation triggers, where whenever a lead arrives in your particular pipeline stage, that your the whole sales team is informed about it. Right, that okay, this is a new lead, maybe through emails or maybe through SMS messages or WhatsApp messages, but your sales team is aware that okay, this is the new lead, I need to follow up right now, right? So it's not like Excel sheet which you see the next day that okay, this lead arrived yesterday, because you are out of your working hours, you don't know. So but with this, you know exactly, even at night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, in your message, in your mobile message, that okay, the lead has arrived, I need to follow up right now if I need to make that sale. And if you have made your whole sales commission models right, then that person would go after that lead, and probably your business will benefit out of it. So yeah, so that distribution of leads, once that those leads arrive, distribution, allocation of the leads to the right salesperson, one thing you can automate, obviously, in CRM. And then you could send follow-up reminders to your sales team that okay, you need to follow up, so that your sales becomes more streamlined, in the sense that that machine can generate more revenue for you. Just the machine, not the humans. Humans can generate more revenue, machine can help them generate more revenue. So yeah, so plus this would also help you in getting that better sales reporting.
Yeah.
That with the sales team, whatever activities they are doing, whatever sales they did, you need to get those from Excel sheets, and make sense of it by analyzing those Excel sheet numbers, and put extra hours on that. So why to do that when the CRMs allow you to give those reports, that sales by team members, sales, whatever sales happened last month, last week, yesterday, or no matter what kind of insight you want, you could always add a filter and get that insight from it, because that system is already in place. Many big businesses, growing businesses are already using it. So this is one of the top automations that you should definitely adopt if you're not using a CRM right now. And especially a CRM which does have the capability of capturing lead, maybe a capability of creating landing pages, capturing lead, and then putting it in the sales pipeline, and then sending these alerts, doing all the automations. Right?
Are you going to describe Deskera here?
No. So, I mean, Deskera is one of the solutions, obviously, but there are many more in India which are currently there, especially working in the sales. Deskera involves more modules also, but especially in the sales domain, there are many applications, good applications that could be utilized. Okay. The next thing is lead nurture. So do you want to speak about it, Sarit?
Yes. So nurturing a lead is where a lot of marketing comes in. Okay. So where, if your salesperson, if you have a lead, and if your salesperson directly goes up to them and asks them to buy your service or your product, it creates a bad impression. Okay, that lead has just tried to interact with your company. Maybe, for example, they might have downloaded an ebook on one of your ads, or from your LinkedIn page, or somewhere else. So that creates a bad impression if you're just going to them and asking them to buy your service or your product. What you have to do is, create value for them, create a solution for them, or maybe they were just wanting to look for knowledge, and someday in the future they might buy from you. So treating all the leads same and not giving them valuable information about yourself, or whatever they are looking for is a bad thing for a company. So that is where lead nurturing comes in. That is where you have to define interests, or you have to look for lead actions, what they are doing, and talk to them according to their action. Generate their interest through that. And a lot of companies are not able to do that because they just maybe not are not aware about lead nurturing like that, and they just go for that first sales contact, which is a huge loss.
Right, right. So, I mean, one more important thing here is like, even for a manual process, even if you're not automating this aspect, for a manual process, you should have a defined marketing funnel for you. That, okay, when you are reaching out to people who don't even know about your business at all, you obviously reach out with something more educational, right? Educational content. Like, okay, maybe if you are a business into toys, so how to find the best toy for your child is the first message, like as a content, because that's a pain point you're addressing. Not take my toy, not that. You are starting with this particular content, right? When that person is interested in that content, now you would want that, okay, you are interested in this, we have these many toys, you could have a look out, right? You can look at them if you like any of them. This, by the way, this is the most popular one, which many kids in the town are actually preferring. So then you could go to that stage where you're trying to make that person believe that, okay, take it. So even for a manual process, you need to first create a funnel for your business, marketing funnel, where initially you're talking about value-based things, and then later on you are nurturing them and then putting them to the sales funnel, right? So don't treat all the leads as same. But with manual process, you don't know it, right? You have a contact form somewhere on your website you have created. All the leads are coming. You don't know which lead is what, for what purpose, and then you are treating all the leads as same. So every kind of lead needs different kind of nurturing. So you need to send them different kinds of emails, right? And not just one email. You send one email, then you send a follow-up email, then you send a follow-up email after 4 days, 10 days. But you do it manually right now. So all this nurturing would require a lot of your time. Also, I'm not saying that you could easily implement it in your business by doing it manually, but if you could automate this part, you as a small business could also do it. You don't have to be a big giant or with a lot of revenue to do this. You can, what you can do is easily create automated email sequences. What does it mean? Like you have 5 to 10 emails in a sequence you have created that will go in, let's say, a period of 3 to 4 days. I mean, you can choose your own time that how long would be that period, but you can send those emails in a period of, let's say, 3-4 days. Every 3-4 days an email would go. What kind of email would that be? The kind of content that will go in that email, you could write that well ahead of time. You create that whole sequence, put it in that CRM that you have just recently adopted. So you put that in the CRM, and then once the lead arrives, somebody has downloaded a guide from your website. Okay, start that sequence. You don't have to deal with it. That lead will automatically get nurtured. At the end of that funnel, that lead, if that lead has opened your email and clicked on things, then he or she is automatically warmed up for your sales team. Now what you can do is you push those leads to your sales team. So all this process could be automated. So
since we are talking about emails, we have been around marketers, right? And what great marketers do is that they go into the nits and grits of it. Like you can set up entire sequences where for every little action, like if someone has opened your email or not opened your email, if someone has clicked on your email or not clicked on your email, you're having separate sequences for every little action. So you know how valuably you're treating your leads. And when these leads have been properly nurtured, when they have shown definite interest, then you transfer them to your sales team. That is where you get great value out of them.
Absolutely. So so that is these are the two things that you could automate. Obviously, there are more automations that you could do, but with the limited amount of time, we could just explain the top ones right now. So this is for your sales. Now moving on to a next business function, which is also interesting. People, right? So we all, if you're running a business, you must be having a lot of people. You must be paying them every month, right? Payroll, correct? So you must be paying them, or you're not. If you're not paying them, you must be hiring new people. So these are the two major activities of any HR system, right? Currently, in any business. So let's talk about payroll automation first. How does it happen manually, Saraya?
Manually, okay, so you're hiring people. Your HR has this Excel sheet where he has, jotted down the potential people he wants to hire, or maybe the potential people he wants to contact. And he has this entire data on Excel sheets. He is then maybe again talking about the current employees. He also has their data on Excel sheets, and he has their payroll information. He has their bank accounts. He has all this information, side by side, and then he has to calculate taxes. So he's doing that individually for every person, which is a lot of, you could have a lot of employees, and it could be a lot of time taking thing for him. Then these employees, when they need payslips, you might need payslips for a lot of reasons. Maybe, you're applying for a loan or whatever, and you have to manually go and ask your HR, hey, please send me my payslip. Then he has to download the data or maybe copy the data somewhere else. He has to create a payslip template. He has to edit that template and then send the payslip. And also he has to put your tax amount over there, your deductions, your whatever, structure you have in your company. That is a lot of manual work.
Yeah, exactly. And the major headache of any payroll department or any HR department in business is taxes. Actually, what you spoke about, Sarella, because I remember people, I mean, who actually takes Excel sheets and calculate TDS for each of the employees every month. Because sometimes it happens that the person has, taken leaves. Or which needs to be deducted. So every month the amount of salary which will go in their account would change, and the TDS would change as well with that. So you are calculating all of that in your this thing Excel sheet, which takes a lot of time. But anyway, so this could easily be solved. Like all this payroll, all of these payroll processes could be easily solved by adopting a payroll system, right? A payroll system which essentially, where you could set up pay schedules that okay, when the salary should go, and you could run automatic payroll, like every day of this month this salary would go. You just need to enter the employee details inside your system along with the bank details of the employee, and then the payments would happen automatically. And you with this payroll system, you also get a self-service employee portals, where if employee wants to see anything about their about their journey or their pay slips, or they want to apply for new leaves, or they want to claim expenses, the expenditure they have done for the company on behalf of the company, they can do all of that in self-service employee portal. If you don't have this, then every time that person will ask that HR, send an email, give me my payslip, that HR will spend some more time on creating a new template for payslip, add his data, and then send it to that person. And if your company is growing, let's say more than 10, 15, 20 people, if 2-3 people are requesting every day for their payslips, that half of the day of that HR is gone.
HR will only say, I will get back to you.
I'll get back to you. And he's not never getting back. And just getting abuses from the employees. Okay, on time, right? And all this HR and admin work would be saved with a decent payroll system in place. Just that it will be. I'm telling you, it will be way more worth it than a manual process. Like even if you have to pay something for it. Pay that, right? Because I mean, it will save a lot of your HR time, and your HR would be more focused. What was the major focus of your HR is to get the best talent for your company and nurture them in your company. These are the two important tasks that he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to do all that admin work, right? All that could be automated with a payroll system. So even if you're a small business, consider having a payroll system in place. Even though you're not going big on your compliance or tax, you can manage your process as well. Coming to that, another process, another thing which is very important for any HR function in any business is hiring, right? So hiring, with hiring also, do you want to speak about it, Sarela? What happens with hiring?
Yeah. I actually have a very funny story about it. So there's this company I had applied a while back, and I cleared all their rounds. I was just waiting for their reply, and in the meanwhile, I was also applying for other companies, and I got an offer from another company, not the same company, but another company. And when I joined that other company, since I did not receive an offer from the first company, I joined the other company. And then later on, the HR from that company calls me and tells me, "Oh, hey, I forgot I had an offer for you." I'm like, "Okay, you lost me." That is where I don't want to talk about hiring automation.
Yeah. Right. So
That is
that's what
what,
happens. Yeah. That's
yeah,
what happens.
you
Yeah. I
forget
mean, yeah.
you forget to follow up to with candidates at different steps, right? You can mess up data. You are dealing with Excel sheets. I mean, come on, you're in 2022 and you're dealing with Excel sheets now. And you also have to inform the internal team, okay, so sir, you have to take this interview, or maybe this is the resume, you have to check this out, you have to check this candidate out if we have so many candidates applying to your company. And then you have to play through different response sheets to manage job roles, because you have multiple job roles under your company, you have different functions, right? So that is a lot of hassle.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, talking about the HR work, right? Hiring and nurturing them. So, in hiring also, it doesn't mean that he spends all of his time in admin tasks like this, big follow-ups, reaching out to the internal team members who are supposed to take the interviews and all of that. All this communication could be, easily automated if you have an applicant tracking system in place. A good applicant tracking system could, help you with that. So what is a good applicant tracker system that it does? So you could automate all your external communication. First thing, whenever a candidate is coming in your company, he applies for your company. So the state changes, right? His job state from send the resume. Once this job state changes, you send that email to your internal team that okay, this new person has arrived. You need to check his resume, right? You don't have to tell your HR to go and tell the people to check out the resumes. The resumes will be automatically sent to the person who is responsible for reviewing it. He will check it out, and then automatically say that okay, this is good for approval, and changes the candidate state. When he changes the candidate state, the next level of interviews would happen where the communication needs to happen. The automatically the communication will go to the respective people, right? So you don't have to keep your HR busy in this all scheduling, approving, getting, checking, telling people to check out candidates. All of that could be automated. And another thing is like you need a way where you could manage all of these job roles, all of these candidates at one place. Obviously LinkedIn is one, but not everybody has the access to LinkedIn, right? But if you're using an applicant tracker system, all of your company can access that, at any given point of time. So you could, manage data about all the candidates at one place. So this is one of the good automations that you could do for your hiring. I mean, these two automation could save almost like 30 to 40% of your HR work if you just have a small team there. So you can definitely adopt this. So, I mean, I think we have, come to the end of this webinar with all the 11 automations in place. We would like to ask you all one question, like which of these automation, out of these 11 automations, which automation was something that you were most intrigued about? Like you would like to, have that in your business at some point. I would like to, get your responses in the chat. You can chat right now. You can put that right now. I can tell you, okay, so we discussed HR and payroll automation and hiring automation. We discussed about sales automations where we talked about sales follow-ups and leads nurturing. Then we discussed back order automation and e-commerce accounting automations, right? And then we spoke about 5 different accounting automations, that is payments, invoicing, then your bank reconciliation, then document scanning, then we spoke about approval workflows. So we spoke about all these 11 automations. Let us know which one was your favorite, most favorite.
Ishita says sales and lead nurturing and document scanning too. Okay.
Let's wait for more people to write. Guys, come on. If you didn't find it insightful, you can mention that also. Like, we don't mind.
How to, we have a question, how to automate candidate data for hiring from multiple sources, like LinkedIn, Naukri, IIM jobs. Would
Yeah,
you
so
like to-
Anup, there are many tracking systems. I mean, I would not name them here, but if you want to know about them, I could send you in the email. But there are many application tracking systems that actually integrate with all of these platforms. Your LinkedIn, Naukri, IIM jobs. So whenever anybody is applying for jobs from any of these portals, all of that data comes into your tracking system, and then from there your team takes it forward, right? So yeah.
We have responses coming in. Suresh says payment automation and purchase automation. Nice.
Right. Alicia, if you could mention my email address here for the people, you can shoot your queries, all your whatever queries do you have to this email address, and I would happily answer them later after the conversation, after this webinar. Okay.
It's been a 1 hour session, Piyush.
Yeah, it's been a 1 hour session. Payment automation and purchase automation. Yes, Suresh has replied. Okay. All right. All right. So that has been a really great day, guys. Great webinar, and we'll come up with more topics. If you have anything in particular in mind about your business, how can you run your business better with any challenges that you find in your business, you can also mention that in the chat or send it to me in the email. We'll try and take that up in the next webinars that we conduct in next month. Again, probably this time we'll have 2 webinars in a month, so that yeah, Philip's is asking for email ID. Philip, just above your chat message, there is an email ID.
Piyush.sharma@deskera.com.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, guys, that comes. We come to the end of this webinar. I hope you all liked it, and we'll definitely improve these webinars as we go further. Since we just started this time, and we got a really good response from you guys. You've been a really good audience, at least. So, I mean, we would like to interact with you better next time. But yeah, it was a great day. If whatever automations that we spoke about right now, all of this could be possible with Deskera. If you would like to speak more about how you could adopt Deskera, or how you would like to see a demo of Deskera or something, you could definitely reach out to me on the same email. We would be happy to run you through how you could do all of these automations. And regarding your query regarding LinkedIn, Naukri, and that, Suresh, I mean, that particular feature is not yet there in the hiring automation yet, but we are building that out as well. In the coming months, that will be there in Deskera as well. So yeah, so I mean, thank you. You've been a great audience, and we would love to see you in the next webinar, all of you. So thank you for attending. Me and Sarilya signing out now.
Yeah.